Hi guys, today we're going to work on taking a logo, or in this case an initials design, and using that to create a brush in Photoshop. So right here you see I've got a document. It's a JPEG, it's a photo of a initials design that I made with an M and a B, and you can see from the date this was made a long time ago. But I had it for a quick example in black and white and thought we would go ahead and use this. So the photo is on my desktop. You could have yours in your downloads, or just somewhere it needs to be physically on your computer so that you can drag it into Photoshop and use that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring this right into Notice Photoshop is already open because I've got the dot down there, but I'm going to go ahead and drag this into Photoshop. Excuse me. Okay, so I've opened the document in Photoshop. I actually have another document open over here, which is really irrelevant. I'm going to close that out, so don't let that fool you. This is my photograph. This is my initials logo. And here's what we're going to do with this. We are going to get rid of everything except the black area, okay? And we're going to do this. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could approach this, but let me just show you some really quick ways that we can do this together. So if you slide down here, this is the eraser tool. If you're on a single toolbar on Photoshop, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th one down. So notice the diameter of my eraser. I'm going to slide up here, and this is the diameter of the eraser is currently 90 pixels. I'm going to change that. I'm going to make that much larger. I'm going to slide it down, and I'm actually going to slide it back up and make that even larger still. Now, there is actually a way to increase that size without even going to this panel. This is like a brush panel. In this case, it's an eraser panel for us. But I'm going to hit my right bracket key, And as you can see, it's going to get much larger. This is a quick way to make brushes or erasers, in this case, bigger or smaller. Left bracket, right bracket. The left and right bracket are just to the right of the letter P on your keyboard. Left bracket smaller, excuse me, right bracket bigger. So we're going to make it about like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of this stuff here, this table, okay, from my photograph. Ooh, now I need to hit, I should have done that in several strokes. I hit Command Z because as you can see, I got some of the black of those dots and I want those little silly dots in there. So I hit Command Z and it undid. So let me do it again. And now I'm just doing it in multiple clicks instead of one click. And then if I have to Command Z it, it's not the entire thing. Okay. So there's my erased background. Now, come over here to your layers panel. It looks like pages stacked on top of each other. Let's talk about this panel real quick. Automatically, I brought this document in. This was on one layer, and it was also the background layer. Typically, when you start a new document, you'll have a background layer that might be transparent or might be black or might be white, and then anything you add will be additional layers. But in this case, it's all one layer. I'm actually going to unlock the padlock, so all I had to do was click on that. Now this layer is unlocked. Let's go ahead and go to the, we're going to go to the select up at the top, color range. Now, right now, I really want to select all this white. Okay, so I'm clicking the white, and I'm holding down Shift for all the subsequent clicks that I make. And I'm trying to pick up as much of this off-white and white that I can. And you'll see why here in a second. You know, this paper comes through almost like a creamy white, whereas the actual background looks very white. So look over here at the preview. I'm still holding down Shift, but look over here at the preview. I've got quite a bit of that white is selected. Now watch what happens. I'm going to say OK to that. And there we have what we call the marching ants. Okay? So everything there that is selected is the black, and that's what we call marching, excuse me, everything we have selected is the white and the off-white, because you have marching ants on the outside of the paper, and you have marching ants around your design. And that's what people refer to them as, marching ants. Now, I want to select, right now I would like to select the black. So I'm going to go to select inverse, and it's going to select the black. And I'm going to go edit, fill, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to fill it with black. Contents, black fill, and select OK. That's just going to make it darker and richer than what it was just a minute ago. A minute ago it looks like Sharpies, okay? Sharpie on paper, right? But I'm going to go edit, fill, and nice and black. So it's a nice rich color. Again, Command Z to undo one step back, okay? So now I'm going to go back to select inverse. Now all the white is selected again. Marching ants are on the outside edge, marching ants are on the outside of the black logo, and Command X for cut. And there you have it. We have our design that was drawn in Sharpie, and it is all selected, or it's the only thing that remains. But I still feel like some of these areas could be filled in a little bit darker. So I clicked it over here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tool down. I'm selecting Magic Wand, and again I have the marching ants. And I'm going to go edit, fill, and I'm going to fill it again with black. Notice I picked up that area there. It kind of just fine-tuned a little bit more of this. So now we're nice, dark, rich black hue to that. Okay, so back to the Move tool. I'm going to hit Command D as in dog, but that is going to be for deselect. So I'm hitting Command D, okay, and now it's not selected. One more thing that I need you to do before we turn this into a brush preset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th tool down is our crop tool. And we're going to kind of get right around this. We really don't want a lot of extra for this task, so I'm going to get kind of close. And I'm going to hit enter. Now that cropped it just right to my image. One more thing that I want to do, that I want to fix, is I want to zoom in. So I hit, forgive me, I'm going to go back to the Move tool. I'm going to hit Command plus, plus, plus to zoom in. And then I'm moving it around with the Move tool. I want to go ahead and just get rid of this date. Since it is an incorrect date, I'm going to go to my eraser. I need to be on this layer. I'm going to go to my eraser, which is now way too big. Left bracket to make the eraser smaller. And I'm just going to very carefully click that and make it a little smaller still and get that little guy there. Okay, now I'm going to go back Command 0, full screen. Command 0. And now we've got our logo pretty much framed into the window here, and not a lot of extra space around it. Mostly black. I can still see some unevenness in my lines because they were hand drawn with a Sharpie and then photographed into Photoshop. But that's okay. That will add to the handmade nature of what it is that we are creating. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to, now this layer is selected. I'm going to go over here to Edit, Define, Brush, Preset. As soon as I do that, you're going to see this little window pop up, and obviously you can see my design right there. Now it's saying that here's your design and that currently it is 2,709 pixels in diameter. Okay, I'm going to title this Melanie Brown as my brush. You can use your first name, your last name, both names, whatever you want to use is fine. It will actually be installed on the Photoshop on the computer that you're using under the user that you are using. Oh, just please ignore that phone call. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. And then that is going to be saved into my brushes. So now to test this out, I'm going to hit Command N for a new document. So we're waiting, and we're going to open a new document in Photoshop. And of course, it had to go to my screen. So give me a second to pull that up and move that over. And that new document, by creating that new document, we are going to test out our brush, or it's like a stamp. and you will see how that works. So that all other work that you make this semester, you can test out. You can put this in the bottom right-hand corner of your work. So I'm going to go, I hit Command N for new document. I'm going to go to print. I'm going to go to 8.5 by 11, a typical sheet of paper that is vertical. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say create. And now, just to test this out and kind of have fun with this brush, first of all, I need to change my foreground color. This is your foreground color. This is your background color. So we're going to go to foreground color and double click. I can now choose any color that I want. I really am partial to purple. It's one of my favorite colors. So let's pick purple, and I'm going to say okay. Now, I'm going to go right here to paintbrush. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tool down. And immediately, because it's the last brush that was being worked with, my Melanie Brown brush comes up. And I'm going to just click that and stamp it. And now you can see that I've got a purple version of this on my paper. Okay? I'm going to Command Z to undo that. I'm going to left bracket to make this much, much, much smaller. I'm going to bring it down here. Now, if I were creating documents this semester and I wanted to sign my work digitally, I wouldn't necessarily use purple, but here you can see what it would look like to stamp your initials, your signature, your logo in the corner of your work. Okay? So please make sure that you make some kind of version of your stamp, whether it's just one in the corner or you kind of play with it and have fun with this and make some different ones. And then I will ask you to turn that into the server. So I'm going to kind of play around here with some different purples. And there you go. Okay? So please go ahead and have fun with your stamp. Make what you want using the stamp, and then turn it into the server. And let's go over again how to do that real quick. So let's pretend that at this point I'm done, and we're going to get this turned in. So I've got a document here. It's only got one layer, as you can see, this one background layer. And it's called layer 0. That's fine. Now I'm going to save this. File, excuse me, save as, and I want you to title it your last name, comma, your first name, and then this is project 1. So #1. This is trying to save it as a PDF. I want you to come down here. First of all, you're going to put it on your desktop. You're going to, more specifically, actually, you're going to put it into your desktop folder that has your first and last name on it. There's mine. And then you're going to save it as a Photoshop document, and you're going to hit save. Okay? So we've got a Photoshop document in my folder. I'm going to move all these other things out of the way for now so that you can see what we're doing. So here's my Brown Melanie folder. There's my Brown Melanie folder with one item in it. The first assignment, Brown, Melanie, #1.psd. PSD stands for Photoshop document, which if you're saving it as a Photoshop document, it will automatically call it that, PSD. I'm going to go to my server. I'm going to log into my server. Here's our server. There I'm connected to the server. You're going to go to Graphic Design 1, first hour. Now, I took my Melanie Brown folder out of here the other day, so I'm going to add this to the server. And then in here, you will be able to see that there I have my project, and it's turned in. Now, I know that I didn't spend a lot of time on that project. I believe that you guys can make a far better project, and I encourage you to do so. But there it is. You can see I'm right here connected to the CL Mac WUSD 501.tps drive, the server. And it's in our first hour folder, in the graphic design folder, in the art drive. Okay? So after that is turned in, once you get it there, I will be able to see your work, and then I will use that to enter your grades. So please make sure that you have done that. And that's how you take a photograph into Photoshop and turn it into a brush. And you will see that it's saved in there permanently. And it would show up at the very bottom of the list of brushes, of all these hundreds of brushes. And there it is down there. And that anybody could use it at any time, signing on to that same computer with the same user. I hope you enjoyed and appreciated the video. Have a great day.